Hi everyone, Paulo here. Welcome back to the channel where I make how-to videos. Time to share what I've learned, and I'm back with a new Blender and Unreal Engine tutorial. This is part of the Character Animation HowTo series. In this video, we're going to learn how to rig the UE5 Skeleton in Blender. We will cover the basics of what the Unreal Engine 5 Skeleton looks like in Blender, how we could rig our character created in Blender to the UE5 Skeleton using an add-on, and using the add-on we would learn some basics about rigging and weight painting. Then we're going to export the Blender project to an FBX file and import it back to Unreal Engine. We will test our new imported character by replacing the third-person character mesh with our own rig mesh. It's a bit to cover, let's go. So first off, we need to understand what the Unreal Engine skeleton looks like and how it differs from the normal skeleton that you would do on Blender. So if I go under my content drawer here, go under characters and mannequins, this is for the UE5 mannequin. It has 4 mannequins here. I'm interested in the SKM Man Simple. I'll click on the character menu here and select bones and select all hierarchy. This is the structure on how the bones is created for the UE5 mannequin. It's on an A pose, and then it has this IK bones and all the other hierarchy for its normal bones. So if you want to create an org character and rig it to the Unreal Engine skeleton, you need to follow this naming structure and bone hierarchy. So let's go back to the content drawer. Let's try to import this character in Blender. So right click on the skeleton mesh, select asset actions and select export. And let's export that again. It's going to give you this FBX export option. So go under the advanced and make sure the level of detail is unchecked. So we just want a normal export. And if we go to Blender here, I'm just gonna select everything and remove it. I'm gonna import that FBX. So file menu, select import, then FBX. Go to my desktop and import that. And this is how the Unreal Engine mesh looks like in Blender and the skeleton. You would see the orientation of the bones. So this pointing things are the bones, the armature are the bones. So if I uncollapse this and just hide this and just expose this root, and this is the structure of the rig for the Unreal Engine character. It doesn't follow the armature that you would get from Blender. So there's a special add-on that would allow us to recreate this bone hierarchy. You could go to, I'll drop a link on this tool. It's called a Game Rigs tool. Blender add-on. It's a name a fair price model, so give a fair price and then you could grab the add-on. So inside the Game Rig Tools add-on, there's several modules here. The one that we're interested is the Game Rig Unreal Engine module. So depending on your version, grab the version that you want. I'm using Blender 4, so I'm grabbing this version. So let me close this out and open another project. So this is a project I've been following on a Skillshare tutorial for character modeling. Get a discount when you use my referral link below. So I have the character set up here with different body parts. So I'm just going to disable everything and just have the body. So what I want to do is rig this to the Unreal Engine. So let's do that using the add-on. So first let's install it. So go under preferences and go under install and search for the Game Rig Tools add-on that we just downloaded. Once that is downloaded, make sure if you search for Game Rig Tools, make sure it's enabled. You have some options in here to rename the panel and all of that. Right now the documentation is broken, so I'll try my best to tell you how this add-on works. So if I hit the N on my keyboard here, I should have this panel for Game Rig Tools. So the way it works, if I click on Initiate Mannequin here, if you observe the my collection here, it's going to create some hidden folders here, and it's going to create 3 rigs. One's the root, which is the Unreal Engine root, so I could hide the others here, and it follows the Unreal Engine bone that we were just looking at. And the other one that it created is this deform rig, and this rig, tweak rig. So this rig is the one we'll be working on when we want to adjust the bones of the character. So I could go ahead and enable that and use this setting on the add-on to hide those. So I'm going to hide the deform and the unreal, and we're just going to work on this. So there's some options here as well. So when it's highlighted in blue, that means the setting is enabled, and this would hide the skeleton. So we need this enabled. We need the body parts enabled. For now, I'm going to show you how it works. So let's start adjusting. So when you enable that, it's automatically going to put you in post mode. So when you're in post mode, you could adjust the bones and all of that. So first thing I want to do is scale this to my character size. So if I go here, adjust the pivot point to the 3D cursor, I'm going to select everything and then scale it down and scale it till the shoulder is about shoulder length to my character. Now it has these handles for the body parts that you could rotate. So right now it's rotating on the pivot point for the cursor, so I'm going to change that to medium point, and now I could rotate it to the position I want here. So roughly position your character the way you want. So G shortcut to grab, and then just drag it. So I'm going to drag it on the x-axis here. Then you could adjust this joints later on the next section. So if I go to side view here, select everything GY and move my character like so, and then maybe a little bit more. Cool. So then do a top view and rotate this arms. So you can see my character only has 4 fingers, so we're gonna deal with that as well and show you how that works. Now that you have this rough position for the body parts, you could click on joint tweak here and you'll have a new control that you could select. So when you select that, you could grab it and move it along the mesh to make it proportional. So I'm going to grab that. Actually, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to scale this a bit longer like that. So I'm going to start let's start with the feet here, with the legs. So I'm going to grab this, make sure this is aligned the way I want. Cool. And side view, gonna select this too and position like that, and this one move it. So I'm gonna speed this up, but you get the point. Adjust the position to the way it's proportioned to your mesh. Just grab the handles and adjust them. So once you're done with the main body parts, as you can see, there's no handle for the fingers here. So there's another button here for the fingers, and you can start moving those around. So I'm gonna grab this, rotate it, and position it like so. And this one's for the pinky. And I'm gonna get the ring finger because my character only has 4 fingers. I'm gonna grab that and move that away from the mesh so that later when we're doing weight painting, it won't affect our mesh. So just grab the handle. Sometimes it's hard to grab the handles. What you could do is select a bigger bone that's obscuring the selection and hit H to hide that bone. You could unhide that bone later. So let me make sure I'm on the right view here. Cool. And now you can see there's no joints you can't select the joints of the finger, so this is where that next button is for the finger tweaks. When you select that, you should be able to select the bones. So right now, if I go to front view, the placement of the fingers is not right, so I'm just gonna quickly move those. So once you're happy with the tweaking of where the bone should be, you need to hit the apply rig button here. What this would do is it would adjust the other two rigs. The root and the deform would follow the tweak deformation. It would follow the tweak transform. So there you go. When you hit that, it would adjust everything. So now I could hide the tweak bone. I could also hide the Unreal Engine bone here. And we could try doing the weight painting. So for the weight painting, what I do is I unhide everything. I'll select everything for the mesh and then select the bone last. As you can see here, that's the last selection. Shift click to select it, and then I'll go under object, parent, armature deform, and then select with automatic weights. And this should create groups of vertices. So if I open this, under the modifier, it created an armature, and I go under data, it would create this vertices for me, and this should also kind of be rigged. So if I select the bone and go back to post mode and select one of the bones, if I move that, you can see the mesh is following along. Let's do this so it's more visible. And so this rotate. So there's some adjustments that we could do, like for example there I could see parts of the body. If I select this, rotate, and you can see some of the parts haven't been weight painted correctly. So those are the things that you could adjust. So go back to object mode. The bone is still selected. What I'm going to do is click on the object that I want to weight paint, which is the body, and I'm going to select weight paint menu here. And from here, there's a few options that you could check or adjust to make your weight painting easier. So first is the brush. Make sure front face is untick. So what this would do is allow you to paint through the mesh. And for the fall off, make sure it's projected, and then also tick this enable mesh symmetry on the x-axis, so when you paint one area it would paint on the other side. So with those options adjusted, I could hold the alt key or option key and click on the bone that I want to, that has the influence on those vertices. So you can see here the blue parts are not properly weight painted. So I could go now and start weight painting this. As you can see, because the fall off and projected is enabled, it painted through the ears. So I'll eventually also want to paint the ears, but keep note that that is the behavior when the fall off and projected is enabled. So I'm gonna color this. I'm gonna color the eyes. Make sure the weight paint is correct. And also gonna do the ears. And side here, go to the back. All right, that is looking better. I'm gonna hit the R key to test that out in here. So that's good enough. So to keep this video short, yep, that's good enough. I'm going back to object mode here, and Next that I want to do is I'm gonna change the armature for each one of these to point to the Unreal Engine armature. So I could select all of these and I could go under, I believe, object, parent, and then clear parent. So if I just quickly show you what this looks like, if I open the UE Mani Deform here, you would see there's a child here, reference child. So if I select everything, all the mesh, and go under object, parent, and then clear parent, that would remove it from there. Now I need to select everything again and hide the Unreal Engine and hide the deform rig and open up the Unreal Engine one, which is the one that we want, and select that bone and go under object and then parent and select armature deform. That should reparent them to that bone. So if that, we could also check on that by clicking one of the objects and go under modifier. You would see that the object now is pointed to root, which is the Unreal Engine one. So now if I go here, select the rig, go to post mode and rotate this, you would see that it's now working. And let's zoom in a little, make sure the fingers are working. Yeah, you can see it's deforming the fingers when I pull it down. So everything is okay for now. You could adjust this later. So I'm gonna save and go back to object mode. So I'm just gonna select everything and select the rig, and now we're ready to export. So go under file menu, select export, select FBX. I'm going back to my desktop here. For the options, make sure the limit to selected object so it doesn't export the rest of those. And if I go down to, I think, armature, make sure add lift bone is disabled and bake animation is off because we don't have any animation. And then hit export and that should export. Now let's go back to Unreal Engine. So back to Unreal Engine here. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this Blender. And right click, I'm going to select import. Go to my desktop and select that FBX that we just exported, and then hit import. And I'll have this import options. Now for the skeleton, because it's based on UE5 mannequin, I could select the SK mannequin skeleton here. Everything should be as is. Create new material, yep, and then import. If everything looks good, you should get this. So let's open the skeletal mesh. So as you can see, it has all the same IK bones and all the bones that you needed, plus an extra bone floating there, which we're not using because the character only has 4 fingers. Now to test this out, if I go to the content drawer back here, on the third person folder under blueprints, let's open the BP third person character here. I'm going to select the mesh. Let's also go to the viewport here. And I'm going to replace the mesh asset with our new character. So if I select that, you would see it's working. We're still using the animation blueprint for Quinn, which should work fine. And now if I hit play, I have my character imported, and all the animations that are on the UE5 skeleton should be applicable to him. So you could see there's some bits of cleaning up on the weight painting, but you could do that on your own time. So you can see it's working great. Some of the weight paints on the eyes doesn't look right. The foot IK also works because it's the same skeleton. Cool. There you go. So there you go, how to rig a UE5 skeleton on Blender and use it on Unreal Engine. Hope you like this tip. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Please subscribe to the channel. Cheers. Bye for now.